What drew me to Oswego Health was I grew up going to the hospital here, through the New Visions program, having a primary care provider in the area. We've had our children here at the hospital, both of them. I just think that something about having like the community health where the providers, you've seen them multiple times, they've probably taken care of other family members. I just don't think you get that in the bigger hospital systems.